The weather pattern across America is intensifying, and what's coming will test millions. Right now, a relentless atmospheric river is battering the Pacific Northwest, while brutal Arctic air grips the eastern two-thirds of the country. But here's what should terrify you. This isn't Parari. This pattern is locked in and getting stronger. Another atmospheric river is already forming. Wind chills of -40 are spreading south, and the next 7 days will bring conditions we haven't seen in years. In 30 seconds, I'm revealing which regions are about to experience their most dangerous weather of the decade and why this strengthening pattern could persist through Christmas. The numbers I'm about to show you are shocking. Let's start with what's happening right this second. The atmospheric river hammering Washington and Oregon isn't going anywhere. In fact, it's about to get reinforced. A second atmospheric river is developing in the Pacific, and this one could be even stronger. We're looking at a level 4 atmospheric river event, with 5 being the highest rating. When you see level 4, you know serious flooding is coming. Saturday, this system moves through British Columbia. Sunday, it slams Washington again. Monday, Washington and Oregon get pounded with another round. But it doesn't stop there. As we move into next week, this atmospheric river pivots toward California. Then possibly back to Washington and Oregon by next weekend. The entire second half of December is shaping up to be one continuous atmospheric river event along the West Coast. The rainfall totals are staggering. Over the next 3 days, widespread 5 to 7 inches across the Northwest. But look at the 5 to 7 day forecast. That orange, that's 5 to 7 inches. That brown and yellow, that's 10 inches or more. 10 inches of rain in less than a week. Rivers will overflow. Mudslides will happen. Infrastructure will fail. This is catastrophic flooding potential. At the same time, snow is falling across the interior. Kentucky's seeing snow right now. It came overnight for parts of Illinois and Indiana. Montana getting hammered. This builds through tonight and brings more snow tomorrow morning across the Dakotas, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and the Northeast. By Sunday morning, the coastal Northeast sees 1 to 3 inches. Not huge amounts, but enough to impact travel. The heaviest snow over the next 4 days hits Montana hardest. But Illinois and Indiana could see heavier amounts too, possibly 3 to 5 inches. West Virginia might see similar totals. The Ohio Valley could get 5 to 7 inches if conditions align, right, though the latest model run backed off that a bit. Western Pennsylvania and Ohio still looking at significant accumulation. The coastal Northeast, that 1 to 3 inch forecast is holding steady. But snow totals aren't the main story. It's the cold that comes with it. Dangerous cold, life-threatening cold, and it's spreading south fast. Let's talk about these temperatures because this is where it gets truly frightening. Today, negative temperatures are already moving through the upper Midwest. Wind chills, making it feel like -20 to -30 degrees. That's cold enough to cause frostbite in 10 minutes. That's cold enough to kill if you're not prepared. And those cold wind chills are moving across the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. Tomorrow morning, it pushes in even deeper. Actual temperatures of -10 to -20 degrees spreading through the region. Freezing temperatures all the way south into areas that rarely see this kind of cold. Wind chills tomorrow morning, -20 to -30 widespread across the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, some spots feeling -40 degrees. And those cold wind chills reach all the way down to Oklahoma, northern Texas, and the Carolinas. Tomorrow's high temperatures remain crazy cold in the north while staying warm across the south. That temperature gradient creates dangerous conditions. Wind chills still -20 to -30 across the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Teen temperatures with negative wind chills widespread. Tomorrow is going to be a very nasty day. But Sunday, that's when the coldest air arrives. Sunday morning temperatures drop to levels we haven't seen in years. Freezing temperatures push into northern Texas and Oklahoma, all across northern Mississippi, into Tennessee and Kentucky, and out through the Northeast. Single digits and teen temperatures become common. Negative temperatures widespread across the northern tier. Sunday is the coldest day, but not the deepest push south. Monday, that's when the Arctic air reaches its maximum southward extent. Sunday morning wind chills bring feels like teen temperatures widespread. -20 for the Ohio Valley. -30 across the Midwest. Maybe even -40-degree wind chills in the upper Midwest Sunday morning. Sunday's high temperatures don't provide relief. You stay in negative to single digits across the Midwest and Great Lakes. Teen temperatures may be reaching the Northeast. Frozen temperatures in blue covering the maps. Wind chills for Sunday highs still minus 15 to minus 20 degrees. That's your afternoon high, feeling colder than many places see at night. Monday, the freezing line pushes to its deepest point. Louisiana seeing freezing temperatures. The Florida Panhandle experiencing cold, not typical for mid-December. Wind chills, making it brutal from Dallas-Fort Worth all the way toward eastern Texas, feeling like the 20s. Teen temperatures spreading from Alabama all the way to the Carolinas. These are the feels, like temperatures, the wind chills. Negative wind chills continue across the Ohio Valley and Northeast. Tuesday brings some moderation, but freezing temperatures and strong wind chills persist. After this, the dramatic warm-up we've been tracking for 2 weeks finally arrives, but that's still several days away. First, we have to survive this dangerous cold outbreak. Let me explain why this pattern is strengthening rather than weakening. The jet stream configuration is becoming more amplified. That big ridge over the west coast is getting stronger, which means the trough over the east is digging deeper. Cold air that was bottled up in the Arctic is now spilling south in waves. Each wave reinforces the previous one. The pattern is feeding on itself. At the same time, that strong ridge over the Pacific is steering atmospheric rivers directly into the west coast. It's like a fire hose aimed at Washington, Oregon, and California. As long as that ridge stays locked in place, the atmospheric rivers keep coming. And right now, there's no sign of that ridge breaking down. If anything, it's getting stronger. This creates a classic split flow pattern. Warm and wet on the west coast, cold and stormy in the east. And when you get a split flow pattern, this amplified, it tends to persist. We could be looking at this weather regime lasting through Christmas and possibly beyond. That's why I'm saying this pattern is strengthening. It's not a quick hit and move on situation. This is becoming entrenched. The impacts of this strengthening pattern are far-reaching. Let's start with the Pacific Northwest. You're already dealing with flooding from the current atmospheric river. Rivers are running high, ground is saturated, and now another wave of heavy rain is coming. When the second atmospheric river hits, there's nowhere for the water to go. Flash flooding becomes widespread. Rivers that are already at flood stage go higher. Areas that stayed dry in the first event get hit in the second. Mudslides are a major concern. Steep terrain in Washington and Oregon becomes unstable when saturated. Add heavy rain on top of saturated ground and hillsides start moving. Homes built on slopes are at risk. Roads get washed out. Entire communities can be cut off. If you live in known slide areas, have an evacuation plan ready. Avalanche danger in the mountains is extreme. Heavy snow at higher elevations combined with wind creates dangerous conditions. Backcountry travel is life-threatening. Even areas normally considered safe become hazardous. The snowpack is unstable and getting worse with each storm. For the east, the impacts are different but equally serious. The extreme cold affects everything. Heating systems work overtime and some fail. Pipes freeze and burst. Power demand spikes and grids get stressed. Vehicle batteries die, people get stranded. Frostbite and hypothermia cases increase. Every winter we see deaths from extreme cold, and this event will be no different. Travel becomes treacherous. Snow combined with extreme cold creates dangerous road conditions. Black ice forms and stays frozen. Salt becomes less effective at very low temperatures. Snowplows struggle to keep up with repeated systems. Airlines cancel flights. Highways close. People get stuck. Emergency responders can't reach everyone who needs help. Agriculture takes a hit. Livestock exposed to wind chills of minus 30 or worse are at risk. Even with shelter animals can die in these conditions. Crops that survived early winter may not survive this deep freeze. Water systems for livestock freeze. Farmers face difficult decisions about animal welfare. Infrastructure stresses under the load. Natural gas demand spikes. Pipelines work at capacity. Some areas may face shortages. Electrical grids strain under heating loads. Transformers fail in extreme cold. Power outages during life-threatening cold are catastrophic. Roads crack and buckle from temperature extremes. Bridges become structurally compromised. Let me give you specific city forecasts so you understand exactly what you're facing. Seattle and Portland, you're in the bullseye for atmospheric river impacts. Another 5 to 10 inches of rain coming. Rivers already at flood stage, going higher. Mudslide. Risk extreme. Power outage potential high. This is a dangerous high-impact weather event. Prepare now. Minneapolis and Fargo, you're dealing with the most extreme cold. Sunday morning wind chills approaching minus 40. Actual temperatures well below zero. This is life-threatening. Do not go outside unless absolutely necessary. Check on neighbors. Make sure heating systems are working. Have backup plans if power fails. Chicago and Milwaukee, your cold isn't quite as extreme, but it's still dangerous. Wind chills -20 to -30 Sunday morning. Snow tonight and tomorrow complicating travel. Flash freeze likely as temperatures plummet behind the snow. Friday evening commute could be treacherous. Indianapolis and Columbus. You're getting snow tonight into tomorrow morning with dangerous cold following. 2 to 4 inches possible. Roads will be a mess. Friday morning, then temperatures crash into the weekend. Teen temperatures for highs Sunday, single-digit lows, wind chills below zero, prolonged dangerous cold. Louisville and Cincinnati. Similar situation, snow tonight, extreme cold this weekend. You're on the southern edge of the heaviest snow, but right in the path of the Arctic blast. Prepare for temperatures you haven't seen in years. Cleveland and Buffalo. You're dealing with lake effect on top of everything else. After the main system moves through the lakes, fire up. Downwind areas could see significant additional snow. Combined with the extreme cold travel becomes nearly impossible at times. Stock up now. Pittsburgh and Charleston, West Virginia getting hit with snow tonight and tomorrow. Some areas could see 5 inches or more. Mountainous terrain makes travel dangerous even without extreme cold. Add the Arctic blast this weekend and you have a really challenging situation. New York City and Boston, you're mostly missing the snow, but not the cold. Coastal areas might see an inch or two Sunday morning. The real story is the temperature drop this weekend. You're not seeing -40 wind chills like the Midwest, but teens and 20s for highs with wind chills near zero is still dangerous for a major metro area. Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, you're in a similar boat. Maybe a coating to an inch of snow Sunday morning. Extreme cold this weekend. Temperatures well below normal. Prepare heating systems. Protect pipes. Check on vulnerable populations. Dallas and Oklahoma City, you're on the southern edge of this Arctic blast. Monday morning is your coldest. Freezing temperatures, which is normal for December, but the wind chills make it feel much worse. Areas of Texas that rarely freeze will see hard freezes. Protect plants and pipes. Now let me talk about preparation, because with a pattern this strong and persistent, you need to be ready for multiple days of dangerous conditions. This isn't a one-day event. This is a multi-day, potentially multi-week, challenging weather pattern. Stock up on supplies now. Food, water, medications. If you lose power in extreme cold, stores may not be accessible. Roads may be impassable. You need to be self-sufficient for at least 3 to 5 days. Have enough heating sources to keep one room warm if your main system fails. Never use generators or grills indoors. Carbon monoxide kills. Check your heating system. Make sure it's working efficiently. Change filters. Have backup fuel if you use oil or propane. Know how to shut off water if pipes freeze. Keep cabinet doors open to let warm air circulate around pipes. Let faucets drip slightly in extreme cold. Vehicle preparation is critical. Good tires, proper antifreeze, battery in good condition. Emergency kit with blankets, food, water, flashlight. Keep gas tank at least half full. If you break down in -30 wind chills, you're in serious danger within 30 minutes. Don't travel unless absolutely necessary during the worst of the cold. Protect pets and livestock. Bring pets inside. Provide adequate shelter for livestock with windbreaks. Make sure water doesn't freeze. Check on animals frequently. Frostbite affects animals too. The atmospheric river on the West Coast requires different preparation. Know your flood risk. Have evacuation routes planned. Keep important documents in waterproof containers. Move valuables to higher floors. If you're in a mudslide zone, don't wait for mandatory evacuation. Leave early if conditions deteriorate. This strengthening pattern is going to test everyone affected by it. But if you're prepared, if you take it seriously, if you make smart decisions, you'll get through it. The weather doesn't care if you're ready. It's coming either way. But you have power. You have the ability to prepare. You have the ability to keep yourself and loved ones safe. Use that power. Prepare now. Stay informed. Make good choices. This is serious weather that demands serious preparation.